Given that the U.S. is borrowing $2 billion a day to keep this empire going, do you ever see us running out of money?
You mean the rulers running out of money? Well, that's the goal. The goal is to run out of a lot of money. Bush is building up this massive deficit. Now that's very functional. What he's doing is borrowing money from the people he should be taxing. He's cutting the taxes of the rich, and then he's borrowing from them. A national debt like that is an upward redistribution of income. We have to pay for that debt. That $7 trillion belongs to us. Every year this government has been running a deficit. What's a deficit? A deficit is when the government spends more money than it takes in taxes. How can it do that? It does that by turning around and borrowing money to make up the difference, to pay the deficit. And who does it borrow from? It borrows from rich bankers, big rich foreign investors, and others. A small portion of that comes from the people themselves. If you buy savings bonds or something, you got a tiny little piece of this enormous debt. Who has to pay that debt? The national debt is the accumulation of these yearly deficits. That's what the debt is. So what you're getting is this enormous debt that we, working people, owe to the rich creditors. It's an upward redistribution to them. The other function of that enormous debt is that it becomes an excuse for not having to have a big public sector. You can cut human services. He's already saying that. We've got to cut. We've got to cut because we have such a big deficit. I want to reduce the deficit. He's already cutting $50 billion from luxury, from stupid luxury things like infant feeding programs and disability insurance and things like that. You know, frills that we don't really need. Certainly, he and members of his class don't need those things. So they don't care that we're going and we're spending and spending and spending. That's one of the goals.